Hi everyone, I'm Shantiom Mahal. I'm from Sweden, and I want to thank Mr. Virendra Mehra for inviting me to this webinar talking about happiness and peace. I think that is a very interesting subject, and I have studied it for quite a while, and I think it's fun to talk about it. There's so many facets of happiness. You can go from one facet to the next, from one level to the next, and there are so many ways of living in happiness where we actually can explore that in this webinar. I think that is a very interesting subject, and I really like it. So I still want to thank you, and we can continue here to the next page. And if you look at this picture here, you can see you have a picture of a person sitting, for example, in meditation, and this person have a higher self expressed here in this picture. And we all have a higher self and a lower self. If we make it simplified, of course, there are many levels in between. But if we look at, there is one level of physical level, and we have a higher awareness where we express ourselves in a higher way and a more beautiful way. So if we continue to look at the next picture here, some people find happiness and peace by watching a beautiful flower. I can tell you, everything I share with you, I enjoy too. I really do, in different levels of myself, but because I think that is part of living, enjoying the happiness of watching a flower and feel the scent of the flower. I really enjoy that. And if you continue here, some people find happiness and peace by eating a piece of cake. We can find peace and happiness in so many ways, and I think that is the beauty of living here on earth, because we can enjoy it in so many different ways. It's just not one way or the other. We have the possibility to enjoy happiness and peace in all levels of living. And I think that is a gift, a true gift to be here. Well, some people find happiness and peace by eating healthy, good karma food. And if you eat vegetarian food, for example, you can avoid creating new bad karma. And what is new bad karma? Well, new bad karma is, for example, creating new accidents or disease. You know, you can get more sick by eating killed beings. And I mean animals, killed animals, and of course humans. So if you want to avoid creating new bad karma, you should eat vegetarian food, because then you don't create new bad karma. And some people find happiness and peace by growing their own food. And I can tell you, these are pictures from my own garden. And I love creating food, growing my own food. I think that brings peace and harmony and happiness to me. Of course, we don't always have to do all these things, but if we need to slow down, feel the happiness of being here and now, enjoy our life, that is an excellent way to do it. And if we look at the next picture here, some people find more happiness and peace by earning more money so that they can live a comfortable life. And some love to share it with other people. One of the mantras that we use when we work with the mind is, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. So if we want to live a more comfortable life, we shouldn't let the money steer our life. We should let them come to us in a comfortable way. And that you can learn. If you haven't learned it before, you can learn it now. Because you see, it's not just about exchanging time for money. It's so much more when it comes to money. I mean, you can live in a fantasy goal and make it manifest for you. And it can be beautiful. And you don't have to have that struggle about earning money and have to run after the money and exchange almost your whole life or on your whole time to get money. There are other ways to earn money as well. And some people find happiness and peace by owning their own house. Isn't this a beautiful little house with a beautiful little garden where you can grow your own berries and fruits and vegetables? I think that can be a beautiful way of living if you want to have more happiness and peace in your life. And some people find happiness and peace when they dress up. Put some beautiful jewelry on that you like to wear and some beautiful clothes when you feel comfortable. These are pictures in the wintertime in Sweden, and I love to dress up, but I also love to be very comfortable. So I can walk around in my pajama, but I also can walk around in a beautiful piece of clothes. So it's just what makes you happy at the moment. Some people find inner peace by a lake or by the sea. Just watch a beautiful sunset, for example. And some people find happiness and peace at the countryside and some in the city. Depends on what you want to do, where you want to go in your life. Some people find happiness and peace by watching the sunset, the sunrise, and the moon. It can be very romantic and it can be very beautiful to just watch it. You come into another dimension and another world. Some people find happiness and peace by looking at a rainbow and other nature phenomena. That can be very exciting too. The happiness and love between two lovemates is the very foundation in the ideal love relationship. This is a blog that I wrote because I wrote a book called The Ideal Love Relationship. And if you want to find that book, it's on Amazon all over the world. And it's called The Ideal Love Relationship. There you can study more about how you can work on a love relationship and make it more happy and peaceful. In a love relationship, you attain more happiness and peace when you support each other with each other's strengths, focusing more on what you can give, but still willingly give and graciously receive. Some people find happiness and peace by lifting others. We rise by lifting others. Maybe not physically all the time, we can do it mentally as well, with a lot of love. When we are building up inner happiness and peace, we can do that no matter the outside environment. Can you imagine all people around you may be negative and very, very destructive in their way of behaving? And you can walk around with a smile on your face and you can really feel happy. That's a good way, good attitude. It's all in the attitude. And you know, that's something about our higher self that we can work on. It's really fun to work with the mind. You can accomplish a lot more than you might be used to. Some people find happiness and peace by listening to some nice music. Some people find happiness and peace by creating and or looking at art. This is my art that I created a while ago. I created for my book, and I have done a lot more, but I like to draw pictures. That makes me happy and peaceful when I do that. But I also like to look at art, other people's piece of art. I like that too. There are countless other ways for people to find happiness and peace. But by paying off our karmas, we release energy, and that brings more inner joy, happiness, and peace. So how do we pay off our karmas? Well, actually by actions, by setting fantasy goals that are developing us in the right direction. So you have to feel it in your heart. This is right for me when you choose a goal, a fantasy goal that makes you alive. You have to know it in your heart. This is really what I want. This is really what I want. And can you see, imagine these pictures here. This woman that is balancing between all the planets in the universe, or in our planetary system, for example. We have so much to be inspired by and to be able to create within ourselves and in our own lives. And you know, there are so many things that inspire us to choose the right things and to do the right things that is good for us and our development. And as we work more and more with our higher self and our higher faculties of the mind, you know, we have higher faculties of the mind. It's will, intuition, imagination, memory, perception, and reasoning. As we learn to use these higher faculties of the mind, we actually grow and develop all the time. Wow. This is actually the universal process on Earth. And if we understand this process right, so that we don't hurt others with our actions, we can understand that the humans are at the top of the universal process on Earth. And why are humans at the top? Humans are at the top because we have the higher faculties of the mind. We have the possibility to go through God realization through self-realization. And if we understand, if we eat the mammals, the fowls and the birds and the reptiles and the fish and the insects and the snakes, we actually create bad karma, bad actions for ourselves that are coming back to us like a boomerang. So we don't need to create more disease and more accidents, more than that we already have done in past incarnations. If you ask a perfect living soul master about happiness and peace, he would say that you find true happiness and peace within by meditating under his guidance. So actually what he's saying is the true happiness, the happiness that makes you fly in happiness, that you actually cannot really touch, you cannot really explain that kind of happiness. That happiness you have within by meditating under his guidance. Interesting, isn't it? All people are searching for happiness, and for a lot of people, they feel it's just around the corner. It's only if you had an exam, or that degree, or that ideal job, or an ideal love relationship, or a baby, or your own house, or that spiritual awareness. By raising our awareness, we can find more happiness and peace. But how do we act to achieve more happiness and peace? Well, you know that we have a higher self. I am that I am. We all walk around with higher awarenesses. In our physical bodies, we have a higher, within our physical bodies, we have a higher self, higher mind. And if we learn to communicate well with our higher mind, so that we don't only stay in our lower selves, we can actually raise ourselves from level to level to level to level of happiness. Isn't that great? So what mindset do you have? What mindset do you want to have? You can develop your mind, and by thinking, you can act in a more conscious and clear way, less reacting and more reasoning. Therefore, you can choose your own happiness. The importance of having a picture of the mind is that we think in pictures. For example, if you have a car and I ask you to think about your car, you get your car in your mind as a picture, right? And if I ask you if you have a back doors or front doors, how many doors do you have? 2 doors or 4 doors, for example? You get that picture in your mind. And what color is it inside of the car? Well, mine is light beige. And as you can see here, this is my car. I have a Chrysler Grand Caravan. And if I ask you to think of your front door of your house, what color does it has? Well, mine is white. And if I ask you to think about your fridge and the color of that one, mine is white, for example. And is it left-hand or right-hand? Well, mine is right-hand. So if you think of all these things, you get pictures in your mind, at the screen of your mind, and you can develop yourself to pick up pictures, and it becomes transmuted between people to people, for example. And isn't that many of us who has had someone calling you up and you say to them, "Oh, that's funny, I was just thinking about you." And that person were calling you right away. And that is also so where you think in pictures and you send signals to the other person. So you know, when you think in pictures and you send thoughts to another person, it's called telepathy. You send the information between people and you don't even need a phone. And that happens all the time between people. Some people are aware of it, some people are not. So let's look at the mind and paradigms. You know what paradigms are? A paradigm is a collection of habits. It's a multitude of habits. And let's look at your paradigm. In 1934, Dr. Thurman Fleet was very involved in the healing arts and holistic health. He stated the mind is an activity, not a thing. No one has ever seen the mind. In order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, I will create an image we can work with. Isn't that great to get an image of the mind? Then we become more clear about thinking about the mind. So this is the picture that Dr. Thurman Fleet in Austin, Texas, in America, created. And if you think about the upper circle, the bigger circle, that's a symbol of the mind. And if you think about the lower circle, it's a symbol of the body. And if you put a line in the middle of the bigger circle, you have the conscious mind at the top, conscious thinking mind at the top, and the subconscious emotional mind at the bottom. And this is the body at the smaller circle. Well, this is the most valuable idea I have ever learned, says Bob Proctor. And who's Bob Proctor? He's my mentor and teacher. And he runs a company in America called Proctor Gallagher Institute. And he's my mentor and teacher. I am actually a Proctor Gallagher consultant. Bob is coaching people from all over the world, over 120 countries in this world. And this is just a beautiful thing, because when we all meet, we come from all over the world, all parts of the world, and we all have one thing in common, and it is our beautiful mind. How we can work with our mind to create something more happy and peaceful. Isn't that beautiful? So when we look at this picture again, this is the picture of the mind. The upper circle is a symbol of the mind, and the lower circle is the body. The conscious mind is at the top, the conscious thinking mind, and the subconscious mind is at the bottom. And this is the body at the smaller circle. So this is the thinking mind, the conscious mind, the educated mind, and the intellect. And that down here is the emotional mind. But if you think about the conscious mind, we have an opportunity to choose. We can accept or reject. And we can originate new ideas. What we want to do. Why not do that? But if you think about the subconscious mind, it must accept whatever you feed it with. So in your conscious mind, whatever thoughts you have in your conscious mind, you feed your subconscious mind with that. And it has to accept when you're emotionally involved with an idea. It cannot reject. It cannot determine the difference between that which is real or that which is imagined. This is you today, and you're bombarded with other people's ideas, the radio, TV, papers, social media, for example. But you can reason. You can choose to reason what you think, what you want to think. You can think if you want to. But if you choose not to think so much, you are bombarded with all these ideas. And this is your paradigm. You have a paradigm that was created already when you were born, like a newborn child. Everything was fed into your mind. And if you look at this picture here, this is how it looked like when you were an infant. You had all these things going fed into your subconscious mind with the radio, other people, TV, newspapers, social media, other family members, all people around you were feeding you your subconscious mind. And you know what? As they were feeding that, it became your self-image. That is your self-image today, unless you haven't chosen to think in other ways to change your self-image and yourself. In absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. Interesting, isn't it? How we can actually change our lives by changing our thinking. So here we are at the paradigm shift. I want to show you the paradigm shift you actually can do. You can go from ignorance to knowledge, just like that. If you choose to think something very, very positive, you simply cannot not go into the ignorance side, into worry and doubt and fear and anxiety and suppressed and depression, even disease. Some people are making themselves sick by thinking ignorant thoughts, by being worried and doubtful and fearful and full of anxiety, they suppress things and get depressed and even get diseases. And then they get disintegration. They don't feel at home in their environment. But if we study ourselves and choose to study ourselves, we become full of knowledge and we understand more, and we become more faithful because we understand, and we are in well-being and expression and acceleration, and we feel at ease. And then we are part of the creation in a natural way because we understand our place in this world and what we want to create and what we want to be and do in this life and what we are. You know, we are a soul. You know that. Faith and fear both demand that you believe in something you cannot see. It's your choice. Bob Proctor. You know, we are a soul. Look at these pictures. We are a soul experiencing how it is to be a human being here on earth. This is actually what is happening in our lives. We are a soul. You don't say, I am hand. I have a hand, I have a mind, I have a body, but I am a soul. And I am a soul with a higher self and a higher mind, a higher self in the mind. And I choose to live in that manner, in that way. And I'm experiencing how it is to be a human being. A lot of people think they are humans experiencing how it is to have a spiritual experience. A lot of people think that this is the way. They are a human being and they experience a spiritual experience. But we actually are souls. And we are experiencing how it is to be humans. We are already spiritual. This is me with my mind master, Bob Proctor. He has been studying and working with the mind for nearly 60 years. And he is a mind master in the world. I think he is just amazing. He has studying the mind so much that he's teaching it all over the world. And I'm one of his students, and I'm one of his certified consultants. Proctor Gallagher Consultant, it's called, and I'm certified. I love it. Do you know that you are a decision away from increasing happiness? You are a decision away from increasing happiness. If you want more happiness and peace and would like to learn more about the goal setting method that keeps you in alignment with increasing true happiness, please act now and contact me for more information. Write and tell me about yourself and why you consider yourself qualified to be in my class. This is my email. And this is me, happiness and peace. The happiest people may not be the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. Don't forget that you can sing a song to make yourself more happy. Pretend you're happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do, and you'll find happiness without an end whenever you pretend. Remember, anyone can dream, and nothing's bad as it may seem. The little things you haven't got could be a lot if you pretend. You'll find the love you can share, one you can call all your own. Just close your eyes, he'll be there. You'll never be alone. And if you sing this melody, you'll be pretending just like me. The world is mine, it can be yours, my friend. So why don't you pretend? Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that I could participate in this webinar about happiness and peace. Thank you. Have a wonderful life, and you're most welcome to contact me. Thank you.